Maine game wardens say that a 15-year-old boy was killed and another was hurt in an ATV crash in Fort Fairfield. It happened on Sunday night on Old East Road. Wardens say the boys were riding together when they took a sharp turn at the same time. They accelerated, causing the ATV to roll over. They say the passenger died at the scene. The driver was taken to the hospital in Caribou with minor injuries. Wardens say neither boy was wearing a helmet or wearing a seatbelt.
And state police are looking for a missing teen from the town of Limerick. We're going to show you a picture now of Alexander Pear. He was last seen Sunday afternoon near the Secaucus Lake boat launch. He was wearing a black T-shirt and red shorts. Officer says he currently has his hair dyed half green and half red. If you have any information that could help police find Alexander, please call the Maine State Police at 207-624-7076.
It has been more than 1 month now since Johan Guerrero was shot and killed by ICE in Biddeford. Federal lawmakers hosted what's known as a shadow hearing yesterday at Biddeford High School to hear from state and local leaders and Guerrero's family. All 4 representatives at the hearing are Democrats, including Shelley Pingree of Maine. 2 representatives from the Homeland Security Committee were also there. The lawyer for the Guerrero family says his clients have not yet been interviewed by federal investigators. Both he and Governor Mills are calling on Congress to change ICE.
Before more gunshots shatter another windshield and steal another person's life and fracture the freedom of all who seek peace. This has to end.
It would be one thing if this was just a single, unintentional, random act of violence committed by a single rogue agent. But this wasn't unintentional. It wasn't random. And responsibility for it is not limited to a single agent.
Democrats are the minority party in Congress, and without Republican support, the representatives say they cannot force an official congressional hearing. We have reached out to the Republican chair of the Homeland Security Committee for comment. We have not heard back.
Republican Paul LePage, running for a seat in the U.S. House in Maine's 2nd congressional district, was in Auburn yesterday to discuss how he plans to create jobs if elected. He pointed to his experience as governor and promised to be a, quote, standout freshman on Capitol Hill. Now he's being endorsed by U.S. House Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, who later joined him on stage in Auburn. Johnson says that he believes LePage is one of the most qualified people in the country. He said LePage's background as a 2-term governor of Maine proves that.
Paul LePage is not just about rhetoric, he's about record. He has done the things he said. He reduced taxes, he reduced regulations, he provided jobs for Mainers, and he stood for the values of America.
I'm running for Congress, not because I need a job. I'm running for Congress to create jobs.
Well, LePage also spoke in favor of tax cuts. At this gathering, his opponent, Democrat Matt Dunlap, later responded saying LePage will vote to cut Medicaid and support tariffs. You can see his statement right there on your screen. Well, the 60-day deadline to end the fighting between the U.S. and Iran came and went with no ceasefire.
And now President Trump is expanding bomb threats and dismissing concerns about the USS Abraham Lincoln. NBC's Bianca Ficini has the latest.
60 days later, and still no peace agreement between the U.S. and Iran.
They want to make a deal, but they're not going to make the kind of a deal that I feel is necessary. It's very simple. They can't have a nuclear weapon.
Did you sign the MOU?
It's signed, yeah. We signed.
Both countries signed a memorandum back in June and seem even further apart now. Meanwhile, traffic in the Strait of Hormuz has slowed to a crawl, keeping gas prices high and the GOP on edge ahead of the midterms.
Everybody in the world has an interest in the Strait of Hormuz being open for commerce, and so I believe we'll be getting into a new phase of that where we can calm this down, that will hold gas prices down to planet Earth.
Jared Kushner, the president's son-in-law and special envoy, says a deal is still on the table.
He'll make the right deal when the right deal is ready.
Though the deadline for an agreement comes as the U.S. faces rising tension with key allies. The president said he would bomb Oman if it gets in the way of a deal with Iran, according to an interview with Fox News. He also recently announced the U.S. would scale back joint military exercises with South Korea.
They said, wait a minute, we have 39,000 soldiers over there guarding you from Kim Jong-un, your next door neighbor, and you're not going to help us on a very easy military operation in Iran. That's strange.
And elsewhere in the Middle East, progress is stalling on the Gaza peace deal, too. Kushner met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Monday to discuss the U.S.-backed peace plan, which has yet to be ratified. In Washington, Bianca Fascini, NBC News.